Yo, it's your boy Dean.
Tim.
Teran.
Oh, right quick before we jump into it, the game, the Celtics. Y'all think they gonna win, or y'all think Golden State? What we looking at?
Well, I think Celtics got the series for sure.
You think Celtics win?
You think the Celtics gonna win?
The series, yeah.
I don't know. That game was touch and go. I think it's gonna be a close one. I don't think the Celtics have enough to push them all the way to the game 7. So.
Did you watch the game, or you?
I watched the game.
You saw the score in the morning.
I watched the game, sir.
You stayed up all the way till 12.
Stayed up the whole night.
Okay.
The whole game. No.
Okay.
I did like that. I say I'm gonna watch the game this time. So I saw what time it was. I'm like, this game ain't over yet. So, but I pulled it off. That was a nice win.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the game over, we can lock in on that. But this episode is graduation time, so we gonna lock in, give them a little advice.
What are those next steps? What's the next steps after graduation?
Yeah. Get out of my house.
Yeah. Let's go.
World, you're needed in the dean's office.
Yo, so you we kind of graduation. I know y'all seen all the pictures, all of the parents saying how proud they are, how their kid was down in the gutter and they raised themselves upon the fire. My kid, an A student, look at my scholarships and all that great stuff that comes with being proud of your kid. And we were kind of discussing that's good. I like to see the parents celebrate their kids. I like to see the kids having that memory of the first step in their life. I think that's one of the first major decisions in their life going forward. And I felt like what we could do is just kind of discuss some of the next step so they can be successful, and that's for the kids and the parents. Because oftentimes parents we don't guide our kids a certain way. We got it based on ourselves or who we are. That's how we want our kids to be raised and how we want what they decisions to be made. And then, kids, they have a different story. So just kind of want to do that. And my question to you is, right, the number one thing in our community, what we have and what we trying to overcome is financial burden. Right, being financially literate, what's the best way to go about achieving the financial goals and stuff that we want, and what path will best get us there, right? So my question to you is, staying home. Do you tell your kids stay home? Or you kick them out of the house when they turn 18?
I think generations are different. Our generation was once you 18, 19, 20, you need to get out the house. The first time me leaving the house is when I went to college at UCF at 20. I left like when I was 17 or 18 or something like that, right?
Nah.
I don't know. I don't know. I remember being young. Y'all leaving the house.
Listen, we're not that far removed from each other, boss. I just want to let you know that.
That's 8 years and 7 years is a lot.
Baby. Well, go ahead.
I think the generations are different because of housing costs and rent costs and how expensive everything is now, at least to South Florida standards.
But not to cut you off, but they say that. But people got to realize too, things were equally expensive. Because if you were remember, minimum wage used to be $4.
Well,
at one point,
that's a 7-year gap because minimum wage was $6.50.
No, but what I'm saying, even $6.50, you got minimum wage back then was $4, $5, $6, whatever range you fall into. Remember, rent back then you probably could get a 3-bedroom for $1,500, but it still was minimum wage was low. So I don't think that the people say that now it's more expensive. I think it's the same thing because now you go to McDonald's and work for $11 an hour, $12 an hour.
Shoot, 15. I'm about to fill out the application.
No, but even 15. But what I'm saying is now you're paying $2,600 for a 3-bedroom. It's the same math. So that part of it, I think it's still the same. It's still gonna be expensive
I
regardless.
think it's a little bit worse, especially with inflation now. Like I think,
I mean, this in this window now, like you say 2022, but before the pandemic, it was about the same.
yeah, I mean, you got some lazy kids out there. I think if you are going to stay at home when you graduate college or whatever your plan is, you should have a plan, a financial plan. What I mean by that is you should be saving to eventually move out of your mother's house. Like the first thing you need to do when you are at home, work, get money, get your own transportation. That should be your number one goal. Can't do nothing without your own car. You want to get your own car first. After that,
Wait, this is. Explain to me what part of life this is. This is while they're currently in high school, or this is after graduating from high school.
I mean, you can start when you're in high school because, to be honest with you, I commend my wife, Cake. She started saving when she was in high school because she was working in high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, mommy didn't let us work in high school. You know, she was too proud. Like, you don't need to work. Kind of did need to work. Kind of did. Yeah, but you know,
we wasn't able to go and get all the stuff we wanted. But it's okay.
But mommy didn't want to let us work, so you know we had to just we just had to go to school. But yeah, so she was started saving when she was in high school. But I'm talking to people that just graduate high school, like just get
talking about graduate high school.
Yeah, like
Once you graduating,
once you graduate.
so you don't recommend they go to college?
Yeah, go to college. I worked 30 hours and went to college.
See, what I would recommend, I don't think you should go off to school to go to school.
Me either.
That's
stupid.
And the cure, I understand it's an experience because I went off to school. I know it's an experience. I know that it's different from being home, but I feel like when you go, because unless you got scholarships, now if you got scholarships and everything's paid for, that's different. We had some people going off to college to go to TCC in Tallahassee. That's a community college in Miami-Dade. You going away from your parents. And I think that's another thing where now I know we spoke about loans and doing all the other stuff. Being able to
now you're gonna be begging for loans like y'all. Loan forgiveness like y'all.
Yeah, like I think that part
like
of it.
Us?
Yeah,
We're
like
not begging for loan forgiveness, so I just want to put that
nah,
out there.
I'm begging. I'm begging for
both
loan.
of y'all pennies in a bunch over Biden.
Yes, please loan forgive me. Yes, please do me. But I'm just saying, I think that's another part that we don't discuss, right? You going over there now, you got to pay for housing. Now you adding to the cost to where you can probably go to a good school that's down here. And what my niece did was she went and went to Miami-Dade for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And then she ended up going to UF. You know what I'm saying? Where it kind of mitigated some of the costs. Mm-hmm. I think that's something too. We're going to college. What degree you going for? Right? What major? What's your major? Because certain major, you know, I don't even want to say this because they're gonna get mad at me. Like,
some majors are waste. Yeah, like
yes.
business administration, criminal justice. Those are wasted time.
What the what? How you call it wasted?
You wasted your time in college.
How you wasted
college? Fine arts, liberal arts.
So you trying to tell me somebody who have a criminal justice degree wasted the time in college?
Yep.
Yeah. Why do y'all say that?
Unless you want to be a lawyer.
Or you want to be a lawyer and go into law enforcement? I don't understand. Or
you don't got to go to college to go into law enforcement.
Nah, but you have to get the top ranks.
You have to. If you want to move up faster, you need a degree plus years of service. Yeah. Right? Because that's the route I was gonna go. That's the route I was gonna go. You know.
But you were afraid of guns, right? What was it?
I was not afraid of guns. They just
You was what?
I couldn't pass the background check. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was because I went through the whole process. I went through the whole process to become a police officer, right? Fill out the application, did all the things and all this whatnot. And then at the point, they said, hey, we can't move forward with it. So that was my route. And I do have
probably lied on the lie detector test.
I ain't lied.
Smoked some weed in the back.
I passed the lie detector test. I passed the swimming test. I passed the cognitive test. I passed everything. It just wasn't meant to be for me to be a police officer.
I got you.
The Lord.
That's a problem. So,
you probably would have been that police officer turn off his body camera.
So people,
dog would have been the one.
So people who going,
he answering call. What? It's a burglary? Nah, we're not going to that one, dog. We're not going to that burglary.
Planting drugs on people. Go ahead.
But now, what to go back to what you're saying, you know, to go through. I think a lot of the students are not getting career advice while they're in high school, right? They're not being prepared, knowing financially what the next steps are, right? A lot of times they leave and say, you know what, I want to leave. What do you want to do when you finish school? Oh, I want to go to college. What does that mean to you, right? And a lot of times it's not being broken down for them to understand because now I'm going to college. What's the next step? Here we are, graduating the year of 2022. You got your diploma. You walk across the stage and, like you said, what's next? They're not prepared. And I don't think most schools, right, are preparing our students for the next step.
Yeah, because it's a money thing to them. Long as all they want for that kid to be accepted, for their financial aid to go through, or scholarships, or however you paying for it, and then they're fine. They're not advising you on majors. Even like I'm even gonna say it, even teacher, social work. You go in those field, you're not making much money. Anything that's service, it's not gonna be as financial gratifying as if you go into something that's private, right? And I think that's something too that's lost on our youth and what we don't pass down. It's like it just going to college is good enough. Same thing with graduating high school. Oh, as long as you graduate, that's like an accomplishment. And again, for some families that is, and other families have a little higher standard when it comes, because like, yeah, you're supposed to graduate high school. Same thing with college. Being able to have that understanding to, hey, yeah, I'm going to college, but I want this major because it's making more money, like coding, you know what I'm saying, technology-based majors, stuff like that, where we know that's where the money is, and it's once you're done with school, and if you do have loans, right, you're able to pay them, and you're not waiting like me or Tim for that loan forgiveness. Like, you want to put yourself in a situation to where you're financially stable, to where now you're ahead of the game. And it's not. And hold on, before you go, it's not about how much money you have in your bank account. How much the really reason is once you come out, how much debt you paying, how many bills you got, how much stuff that's gonna contribute to once you get that paycheck. That gotta come out that paycheck. Now I gotta pay this because I did this.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Going back to, we're not preparing most of our students for that next step. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think most schools are adequately funded or adequately equipped to teach our students what to do next, right? You talked about financial literacy, right? That's the only thing that I believe that our current governor want to put in place to start putting as a curriculum is financial literacy. That's one thing I agree with, because a lot of times even for myself, when I went to college, the first thing I saw was, let me sign up for a credit card.
Oh,
man,
they got me too.
I was like,
did you sign up for the credit card?
I'm gonna sign up for a credit card. I'm gonna do this because at one point I'm like, it's free money. I don't gotta pay it back no time soon. Or if I put a little bit of money on it, because I didn't have the proper financial literacy, I was in debt for that credit card because I let it linger for.
And mind you, it's like only $300-$400 they're gonna give you a rip.
Yeah, and then by the time you finish, it's escalated because I didn't do the things I was supposed to. So that's what I'm saying for us as parents, right? We got some young kids that's growing up, and we need to start preparing them to say, you know what, son, this is what you need to do to be successful once you leave the house. I know a lot of times, like you said before, during our generation, they say, hey, man, you 18 years old. What's the next step, man? You better get out of my house.
Get a job,
right? Get out of my house or whatnot. So it wasn't a true, okay, you want me to leave, but did you prepare me to go, though? Yeah. Were you giving me responsibilities when I was in high school? Did you show me how bills was paid? Mm-hmm. Did you show me that?
Did you save for my college?
Did you save my college fund? Did you do all these things to make me successful, right? And I think that's what lacking in a lot of households, especially the first generation households, because they're not prepared. They haven't prepared their students in order to go to that next level. So now when they go out there, they're going to get the debt because that's the only way I want to go to school, right? Now they're saying, I have so much stuff at home. I want to get away from the house. So I'm willing to take that debt to go to Tallahassee just to go to community college because of my home environment, right? Yeah. And not because I'm trying to I want to get the money. No, I just need to get away because I need to get on my own, because at home I'm taking care of my brothers. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, right? And the only reason I'm saying, because this is talks I have to go through with some of the students I work with.
So hold on, before you do that, because that's not miss that, because this your field. Kind of tell them the Upper Bound program, a little bit about that and what y'all do.
No, it's just, for me, I advise people, not just Upper Bound. This what I advise people now is to go out there and find programs that help students prepare for college, right? And that's what they do at my job and other places, right? We prepare them, expose them to college life, expose them to test taking, expose them to financial literacy, expose them to these things. So that's the part what a lot of our students don't have is that exposure to places. We take them on field trips. You go out of the state. A lot of times when we don't take our students out, when we take our students out, that's the first time they left the city, regardless of the state. So if we're not exposing them to the things that's out there, of course they're not going to shoot for that, right? So that's up as us as parents, right? Us as mentors, the kids that we mentor through football and all this other stuff, we need to start telling them, hey, let me show you what this life is outside of that. So when you do go to college, it won't be too much of a shock for you.
But I think we need to take the pressure off of people to say that you got, in order to be successful and have a good experience, that you got to go away for college. The best decision I ever made in my life was going to Miami-Dade College from 2 years.
Yeah.
The best decision.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell y'all, I got into Bethune-Cookman University. I was excited. They said it's an all-black college. I heard stories. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going. So I'm ready, right? Then, before you go, they send you your financial statement.
Financial packet.
Their financial packet.
I know, yes.
The financial packet before you go. So I opened it. Man, that thing said $17,000 per semester. More than 30 grand for the. I said, oh, no. I didn't know what loans were. I didn't know whatever. Like, I just knew I am not. That is too much money. I've never seen that much money a day in my life. No way I'm gonna commit that to a school for 1 year. Like, you know what I mean? And
so I wanted you to follow up with that. So you open it up. So who did you talk to say what route to take?
Nobody.
So you didn't talk to nobody.
No, I ain't talking to nobody. The only thing I remember asking you was, do dummies go to Miami-Dade College? You was like, dummies don't go to Miami-Dade College. I went there because I think you and Tavares went there
for a couple of semesters. Yeah,
but you was like, that's actually a good school. And then I remember at that time, you was like, that's actually the best. I think it was the best community college in the
one of the best. Yeah,
in the nation.
Yeah.
That's when we go. I was like, okay, whatever. And I went. But when I went, I got kind of scared because I don't want to say this.
Some of the people you thought was not smart was there
too. I saw some people I linked out like, oh, man.
That boy got it's like it made you almost feel like when you walk into your advanced classes and you look over to the dummy class like, hey, what's up, Fred? What's up?
So, and you got to get over that. And then also I had classes that people that was old. You know what I mean? Like, it was old.
What they call non-traditional students.
Yeah, non-traditional student, old woman. Oh, I got to go to work after this. I'm a manager or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, welcome to college life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is so stupid. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to Target for 30 hours each week. So it was kind of discouraging at first. But when I saw my grades and then I seen people who had left to college coming back home, I was like, I did the right thing. Because people was leading.
And the class size is smaller.
His class size is smaller. They got a math lab. I'm pretty sure every college got a math lab. But I'm just saying, like, that math lab was there where you sit around the desk of a tutor. And if you got a problem with if you stuck on a problem.
Yeah, back then they usually they force you to go to math lab.
Yeah.
It was part of the curriculum.
Yeah, and that was another thing that discouraged me. I took because you got to take an entry exam to get placed into whatever classes. And my English, I got right into Mac 1105. No, what is it? English
ENC 1101.
1101. But for my math, I think they put me in a one when it's 1 plus 1. 5 plus 5. Like, it literally said arithmetic math. I was like,
yeah. That's one of the lower level. It's like, I know what you're talking about.
I was like, my Lord. I was like, good. I said, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Yeah. I had to go to school constantly. I couldn't miss a summer. If I missed a summer, it would have been done.
Yeah. And the only reason I asked you that because most of the time you say you came to me and asked me that question, but who do other people go to? If you don't have nobody who never been to college who have this problem, who can you run to? Right? And I think that's what I was. Yeah, that was a nice song back in the day. But that's what I'm saying. Like for parents who don't know where to go, that's when you have to start searching online and look for these different things. Because if your child is not getting that information from the current school that they're at, we as parents have to find the information out for them as well.
And you know what? And I want to challenge the school counselors. You know what I mean? My school counselor didn't really help me with nothing, but just tell me my SAT scores and ACT scores and whether or not a college will accept me or not. She didn't give me different options.
The counselor say, you know where the office at?
I know, but that's the hard thing. Like they didn't really push it. And then but I did see a lot about the Army. I did see a lot about Job Corps and all this other crap. They did talk about Miami-Dade, but it was a bad. I don't know what the stigma is now. Is it still bad? Is it still bad to go to?
Now when I talk to my students, they still feel like Miami-Dade is a failure. And like I told you before, when I was going through my time and when I got accepted to UF, but I didn't go because of money. That's what I had to debate with myself and saying, should I go to Miami-Dade or not? And I'm going to Miami-Dade plus FIU doing different things. But now I go through that where now with current students, they feel that it's a failure if, hey, I didn't go to University of Florida. I didn't go to I'm going to Miami-Dade. And I have to drill them in their mind. It's like, listen, Miami-Dade is probably one of the top 4 or 5 colleges out there in the nation. They produce so many great things, great people. And so it's still that stigma is still almost there. So it's like a battle that I have to do all the time and say, listen, let's look at your financial status, right? I know you want to go away. Who's going to pay for you? Does mom has save up money for you? No. Does dad has any? No. The grandparents? Nah. So who's going to pay for the school for you? Why not go to Miami-Dade? You got financial aid that could pay for everything and put a little bit of money back in your pocket, and you're still getting a good education.
Oh, that was clutch. They didn't expound on that enough.
Yeah, Miami-Dade, you go to Miami-Dade and that financial aid, you get money back.
Yeah, the reimbursement check, I was like, this is clutch. And back then, $1,200 would last you 3 months, 4 months.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I was like, they should have emphasized this. Like more people would come.
And I just want to jump because I know we talking boom boom. What I do want to, because I know we beating up on because oftentimes when something happens, we put the onus on parents. And I agree, parents do have, but we got to understand too, if parents in the mud fighting, I know we want to say why you in the mud fighting, you need to be focused on your kids, but we also got to understand too, when that parent don't have that education or knowledge or information, it's hard for them to give it to the kid and do what's right for the kid. So I want us to be mindful of that as well. That's not necessarily because a kid went a different route. We feel like the parent didn't properly prepare them. The parent was probably doing the best they could for the circumstance that they have, because everybody's circumstance is different. Not making an excuse, but what we often like to look at is, oh, I did it so you could. That's when you listen to politicians, they're like, well, I made it out this so you can do it. Or when you go through a situation, that's like if you get shot, I get shot. The way you respond to it and the way I respond to it different. Think about this. In the Army, right, they send you over to war and they automatically telling you, hey, man, we know you might have a PTSD. Hey, come do this. We putting services in place, doing whatever. Then you go to the hood. I just saw my homeboy get killed. I seen a drive-by on the corner down here. My mama getting beat up by her boyfriend. And then you telling that kid, why you getting in trouble? Why you doing things wrong? We don't account for that PTSD for that same generation. And then you look at that kid when he say he doesn't do well in school, or he's not going to college, or he do go to jail. We automatically say your parents shouldn't do this, right? All I'm saying is, not making an excuse for anybody, but what I'm saying is we have to, when it comes to kids, their environment, and what they're doing for their future, we have to be mindful if we don't know their situation, right? It's different if, like, we can talk about our nephews, our nieces, because we know their situation. We can tell you they ain't do this because they ain't do this.
Do we?
No, we kind of know though.
But
we kind of know. So what I'm saying is that's something too we got to take into account, and that's why. And this is what I was getting to. It's very important for the supports and other people that have encounter with those kids to give that information to them. That's when they said a village. It takes a village to raise a child. So now you say when you coaching the kids, you can be like, hey man, this is how college is, this is what information is. Because those kids, hold on, what I'm saying is you might have a group of kids, it might be 2 or 3 of those kids, parents in the mud right now, and they don't have the opportunity to feed them information, and that's where your job step in as the village to provide that information to that kid.
No, what I'm trying to get back to, I understand what you're saying, all that part, but
it sound like you don't.
I know I understand.
Because it sound like a butt coming.
No. I understand what you're saying. I know we can't put the onus on the parents' situation, all this other great stuff, blah, blah, blah. What are we teaching the young people, right? And I think that's what's lacking. Like I said before, when I'm saying that they training them, telling them different things, a lot of stuff going on now, we're not teaching our kids to be accountable for what they're doing. Right? When it comes to filling out applications and scholarships and all this other stuff, why are the parents or whoever pushing more than the students? Because we're not teaching them how to be on their own. So that's another thing is like, if we're trying to prepare our students to go on their own, financially literacy, all this other stuff, we got to teach them how to be accountable for things that they do, right? I've seen a lot of kids lost scholarships because they didn't turn in their application on time. You can't blame that on the parents. Right, so the students have to take that onus. But
boy, I got a story about that, boy.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying? Is like, how are we as a village, right? Whether it's be you or the outside people, how are we a village are preparing our students for that next level, right? When I was going to school, I didn't really have nobody to reach out to and say, "Hey, can you help me?" Even the ones who was there to help me, I was too scared or I was too prideful to ask them for help to do these things. And I think that's what we need to do is now is opening up that communication to the students and let them know, hey, I'm here to help you, but at the same time, we can't handheld them through the whole process.
You know what I mean? You did, sort of. Like, I don't know if you remember. You don't remember you took me to my first day of Miami-Dade college. It was literally like high school.
For real?
Yeah, he took me.
Hold on, dog.
He took me to register.
Pause for a second.
I don't know where you were, Tavares.
Hold on. Not all that. All this helping damn, dog. Like, why he ain't take me this first day of school? What else he was when you quit football?
Did you ask him? Did you ask him?
It's like, damn.
Did you ask him?
Why you ain't never asked me nothing, bro? You don't think I'm sound?
You was at work.
When Tavares, your first day of college was in Iowa.
I know.
You know where I'm getting on the plane to go to Iowa.
I got you, bro.
You understand what I'm saying? To walk you through the registration and everything. But I thought I should have told you, or we should have known all the problems I had to go through for registration. I had to tell you so you wouldn't go through the same thing.
I got you.
So that was my way of speaking back too, because I didn't really have anybody feeding that into me. So I felt my job was to blah 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 look out. Even when even there when you was away from college, we tried to look out for you best of knowledge because you didn't want you to worry about nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So that was our goal. That was our vision. That was our way of adding to the village. You understand? But you was doing what you were supposed to do. So we didn't mind helping you out either monetary or doing this other stuff because you was doing what you're supposed to do. And what was the key word? You was doing what you were supposed to do. You wasn't going up there messing up.
Not to switch gears on y'all, right? So this the other part of it, right? As we know, like I said, we know our situations, we know our kids, because we know our kids in our situation. So with all our kids, because you stated when we turned 18 or whatever, we was out the house. We were moving, shaking, trying to move. Like all our kids stay with us. Like all our nieces and nephews stay with their parents, mama, everybody who graduated with their mama.
We're not preaching what we.
Hold on. They still home, right? They still home. Yet they graduated from school. We got one on the way to be a lawyer, one a teacher. So they passed that phase of college graduate and all that other stuff.
But they still eating your groceries.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. So now, what I'm saying is, I know in the past we always focus on leaving the house. Do you think that it's better for the kids to stay with you until they get married?
I'm gonna do this. I might be a little sexist. I truly might be, but I always tell the females that come through my program or come through me, who come to my office, I say, listen, stay home as long as you can. Built up that check, built up this other stuff. Yes, you're going to contribute towards a house and those other stuff. Stay at your people's house until it's time for a man to take you out their house. If you want to get married, I'm not saying everybody has to get married. And I say, because what's the point of going out there struggling, do all this other stuff? If you can't handle it, why not save up your change, do all this other stuff, and then when it's time to get married, you're ready to go. No debt, no stuff.
So the dude had to get out of the house.
Listen,
I don't agree with that. I say
you don't have to agree with that.
No, I know
to leave the house.
No,
or that dude's which one?
I don't agree that it's a difference between if you're a guy and a girl.
Okay.
Here's my point. I think you should stay home, but you should stay home with a purpose.
Okay.
Right? Not stay home or I'm working this.
And you buying $400 wigs.
I'm working this dead end job.
Yeezys.
Right. And I'm not saving. I don't have a saving goal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have structure to the reason why I'm staying home. Like, I'm just here just to live. Like, I'm not thinking about my future. I'm just here. I want to go to the party. I want to go to Iguanas or I don't know, whatever club is
Iguanas dead, my boy.
Whatever club is open nowadays. I don't know. Opium. Is Opium still around?
I don't think so.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Whatever club is open right now. That's what I'm saying. Like, one of the things that I want to instill and remind even our nieces and nephews of is it's okay to stay home, but you got to have a plan. I'm not perfect by no means. But I just want to use myself as an example. I graduated college when I was 21, immediately moved home. My frat brothers still pick at me to this day about that. It's like, boy, you couldn't wait to get back to Miami. I was like, you right. I left. Boom, went home. Got a job. And while I was at that job, saved for 3 years. 3 years? 3 years, almost 4. Saved for 3 or 4 years. By the time I was 24, I was able to purchase my home that I'm living in right now, right? And I still have the mortgage rates that was back then. Granted, the mortgages and house prices was cheap back then, dirt cheap. But still, like, I think what I fear for our generation, specifically our family, is to be complacent and not thinking long term, rather thinking short term. Live your life, like, be happy. Like, you know, me and Kate, we still went out. We still used to go to expensive dinners. I ran into Timmy one night at an expensive dinner where we paid $300, and I was staying with Mommy. I was like, we ran into each other one night, but you know, we did those type of things sparingly, but we saved, we budgeted, and we both wasn't making a lot of money. I was making maybe at $30,000 a year, or maybe less than $30,000 a year. She was making around the same thing. Like, combined was making 60, and we'll stay home, and that's what we did. And we would, you know, help out our parents a little bit, whatever the case may be, but stay home with a purpose. I got a best friend. He stood home. When he got back from Orlando, he stayed with his dad, right? Mm-hmm. Stayed with his dad and stacked up. You know what I'm saying? It's worked and stacked up and was able to put himself in an amazing position to invest in stocks and to do all these different things because he had a plan for staying home. People might have looked at it like, man, you staying with your daddy. You're almost 30 years old. I don't know how old he was when he was there or whatever, but he had a plan. You know what I mean?
And I agree with you. I agree.
And then it's frowned upon, and that's another thing too. You now, like, I don't know how it is now, but I think too, when if a female talk to you, oh, you still stay home. You know what I'm saying? And I think my mindset is like, yeah, I'm staying home until I'm ready to provide for a family. You know, why would I
just don't be 30? Oh, there's a limit now.
Yeah, there's a limit.
No.
If you touch your 30,
I'm gonna disagree with you because now you're talking about two different things. I'm gonna tell you why. If you're telling me, if you're
30, stay with your parents.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you. If you're telling me, right, I'm telling you what the difference is. If you're telling me the goal is
you want to have quiet sex in your 30s,
but see, but that's
you want to be quiet. You 30 years old, you be like, shh. Hey, calm down, man.
Or you sneaking through the door. Stuff like that. So.
Oh, he be like, hey, don't be loud. You know, my mama be tripping.
Nah, but hold on. But what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying. If you're see, because what you're doing is what you're telling them to be purposeful and sacrifice. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, as for if I know I'm staying home and I'm 33, 34, right? And I say this in the breath of if you didn't reach your financial goal yet. So like, say right now you've been stacking, you get the money, you can't purchase your own home, right? Because having your own home will take you to that next step. Or you might be waiting. I would because think about it. If you buy a house, you meet a girl, she got a house. What y'all doing with the houses? It causes a conflict, right? People don't think about that, right?
If y'all love each other, y'all figure it out.
No, you figure it out. But what I'm saying is you eliminate the figuring out if you don't have a house, only because you saying you don't want to sound like, because you want to be louder when you doing the wild monkey dance.
And I mean, I use that as a joke, but it's independence.
No,
and you got to learn how to
but what I'm
be by
saying,
yourself.
you still have the independence. Staying home don't mean, oh, my mama cooking me the food.
Very different.
No, but I know it's different. But what I'm saying is, I'm still independent. What I'm telling you, what independent is, I provide parents or whatever certain amount of money. I'm saving a certain amount of money. I come home, I go to work, I do my thing. All you just telling me is you want me to pay more so I can lay down on the couch butt naked. Or you telling me I'm able to just be laid out by myself or who? What I'm just saying you is to your same breath, and what I'm saying you're having the same mentality that what we're trying to avoid is if you're telling me, think about it. What if you could stay home until you're 35 and buy a household cash? And you know your boy just did that, right? Bought a whole house with cash, and he passed 30, right? What I'm saying is if the goal is purposeful to where the reason age only just overlapped your goal. So meaning you just got older because you couldn't get your goal faster. Compared to if this one I'm staying home, my mama, I'm mooching off them, I ain't doing nothing. They telling me, yeah, you right, I'm seeking girls in the house. Where if you stay with whatever, we'll tell it, you explain that to the girl, we can go to the hotel. We can go certain places and we gonna hang out and do like that. If I can't, you can't come back to my house and you can be as loud as you want when I'm knocking you down, right? So what I'm saying is that mindset of staying home and having a purpose with it, don't let your age overlap your goal. So not overlap, but deter your goal. Because now if you saying I want to be able to buy a house cash, but it's 30, but I still got another 2 years to and I meet my goal. Why not wait those 2-3 years and you're 34, 35 is what I'm saying.
All right, but so here's two things I wanted to respond to what you just mentioned. The one reason why I say that you have to have an age limit cutoff, because unless you are in some type of medical program, a different circumstance, you're disabled, a normal person should be able to save up to where they're by their own by the time they're 30. That's the one point. The second point is and the reason why I say that is it's different being on your own and being with your parents. You have a security blanket when you with your parents living at home. Let's say everybody's had the dilemma when you know you have $100, your phone bill is about $50, you want to go to a club, and you're like, dang, what do I do? It teaches you.
You making my point. So now, but that's what I'm saying. It ain't teaching you responsibility.
You got to cook. You got to clean.
Yeah,
you got to make sure
you should do that at the house.
Something goes wrong in the apartment. Who got to take care of that? You got to take care.
Bruh, something go wrong at your house. You trying to tell me you're not calling daddy?
At my house?
Yes. If something break right now at your house, you're not gonna call daddy.
No, I call plumbers.
But so you trying to tell me?
Actually, I call Timmy to see if you got a plumber, or like my AC. Like, Timmy, you got an AC guy?
Okay.
Yes,
you talking about licensed profession. I'm talking about when you needed what it was daddy came and help you fix, because he came to everybody's house. Have he not come to your house and help you fix something?
Even toilet.
Yeah, he came to my, and I know how to fix stuff. What I'm saying is I'm handy, right? Mm-hmm. I have the luxury. I don't think it's a difference of him coming to my personal house and help me fix something, or we fixing something together at their house. Is what I'm saying. That's an illusion of independence. Only way the independence take away if you're not doing the things you're supposed to do. If you're telling me, if I'm going to work every day, I'm saving money every day, I'm taking care of my responsibility and my bills every day, I still have independence if my parents is in the house with me. Are you the independent? Hold on, listen. I understand it's different, but it's still
you got a light bill. You got to manage your home.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Yeah, you say that, but what I'm saying to you is the saving is the bill. That's what I'm saying. If you telling me, because the difference is of me staying with my parents and you staying home. You took $300 and paid the light bill, right?
No.
Listen, hold on, listen. Whatever your number is for the light bill, hold on. Let me ask you. Say your light bill is $150. Say your cable bill is $200. Say your where we at? That's $500 I'm at now. And say your rent right now is $1,500. So in total, what you spending on bills is $2,200, right? So now what I'm saying is I'm giving my parents $500, and I'm saving the other $1,500 or $1,700 and putting it in the bank and not touching it. The difference of the outcome is I have a savings to do the things I want, and you just going to the bill. I'm still doing the discipline thing. The difference would be if I give my parents $500 and then all of a sudden I go buy some Louis Vuitton shoes. That's the difference in irresponsible. Where your money go, if your money is going to the things it's supposed to go to, you're being responsible and you're being independent.
I'm not that no.
Tell me difference. What's the difference?
The difference is managing a home and staying at home with your parents is very different.
Tell me.
What do you
ain't
mean?
say nothing that's different.
I told you what was different.
What?
I told you in a home, you got to make decisions on. You can't paint a living room a different color. The way that you design your home is different. The way if something is going wrong, if you got to talk to the builder manager, if you rent it, if you got to talk to your landlord, if you got to look at the contract to see what's in there. All that stuff you're gonna have to handle independent. Managing a space is different. A home, an apartment is different than managing your room when you know your parents are taking care of everything with the house. If something breaks in the house, I don't even know where I'm like, hey, Ma, something wrong with this. And they going to call whoever they got to call and probably pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's managing an apartment, definitely a house. Managing a house is different than staying home with your parents. Is a big difference, and it teaches you independently. That's why, to me,
I disagree, my G.
Staying in an apartment.
So what's the point if you're telling me I have to leave the house by 26?
I didn't say 26.
So if you say if 30? So you saying you can ride up until 29? What's the difference between 29 and 32?
This is what I'm saying. To me, I think I'm just saying in 30ish you should have some structure to your life to where you have your own space, your own car, and your own space. You're a grown man, like a grown man.
There you go. You sound just like that's what.
Oh no,
that's the problem.
So hold on, wait. That's what I'm saying. You a grown man who has to do grown man things, and you want to be the man of your house by the time you're 30, so you can know how to manage your space. Because if you live with your parents all this time, you're gonna be clueless. When you go from blend, because I did it, and I was clueless as it too. When I went from living with mommy, and then I was in a house with Cake, and we didn't know what the heck was going on. It was like, what is a home? What is a what? Like home insurance? How do we do insurance? Like we was lost. Like, how we pay a bill? Can we go in? We got to pay online. Like what? Like managing a home, setting up a budget, knowing when to go grocery shopping. I guarantee you live with your parents. You're not the one going grocery shopping. It's your parents doing all the grocery shopping. They're the ones probably cooking. You don't know work-life balance if you got to come home from work and cook and understand how that is, and you got to wash dishes. Like all those things are different by yourself. Am I wrong, Timmy?
I agree.
When y'all two moved out.
I get you.
When y'all two moved out, that's another example of that too, right? Because I remember when y'all used to live with mommy, y'all room wasn't clean. Our room wasn't clean. Sorry to put that business out there.
My room was clean.
No, I mean by your
bruh, you gotta. Mommy and daddy attested that, boy. I'm the cleanest out of everybody.
No, we're not. I'm not calling y'all. I'm just saying, like,
okay, tell your point before you lie to these people about.
Listen, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like it was different. But when I remember y'all went to y'all apartment, I remember that was my thought in 10th grade, and I was like, wow. Y'all keeping this place pretty clean. Like, you know what I'm saying? I remember that. I know y'all purpose was because y'all going to have girls coming over, and that's why y'all wanted it to be clean.
No, because we clean people.
Dog. I know. What's your notion, dog? We clean, dog.
I know, but it just...
But I get what you said.
Like, when y'all was with mommy, y'all hated washing dishes every night. Y'all hated having a sweep.
We didn't watch... I'm going to tell you, me and Timmy had one bowl, one plate. I'm a lie, dog. But we didn't watch no dishes.
Because it was your home, you can do it like that. That's how you managed your home. You get what I'm saying? If mommy was living there and she was cooking, right? She ain't gonna cook, and she not probably gonna serve you on plastic plates. She be like, give me a metal plate. Mommy don't even like drinking out a glass plate or whatever, porcelain, whatever. Mommy don't even like drinking out of plastic cups. It got to be glass. You know what I'm saying? So she probably gonna have nothing but glass, no plastic cups.
But and that's what your part you're missing. And that, hold on, I had to sit up for this one. And this is what I mean. What you're missing, what you're stating. Yes, living at home and living with your living at home and living by yourself is different. Just the nuance is different, right? But what I'm saying is for the discussion that we having right now, and what I would tell a child, or give somebody advice. If yes, you're going to have to sacrifice the girls coming or the boys coming over to the house. You're going to have to sacrifice, oh, damn, why you coming in the house at 5 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, you're going to have to sacrifice You're gonna have to sacrifice how the house is set up. You can't walk around the house naked. You can't
make your own decisions.
You can't. You can make your own. No,
you got to clear everything. You want to buy. You want to buy a big TV that's going to put up a lot of electric current. You got to run that by mommy and daddy. But you want to put a speaker in your room. But you got to run that by mommy and daddy.
Listen, but what I'm saying is, yes, the nuances of things that you're telling me that you don't need is what you're restricted on, and what I'm telling you is, if you the things that you need. And the things that you need to meet your goals, the age limit should not change that, because you're going to be a little bit uncomfortable because of the nuance. Same thing when you're reaching any goals. There's certain sacrifice. Do I have to sacrifice if I want to buy a $350,000 house, cash, right? Or if I want to save up $350,000, start a business or whatever. I want to do it to where I'm starting from the front of the line rather than the back. Hold on. From the back of the line. What I'm saying is there's certain sacrifices that you have to give up, and your age should not put no cap on that. If you're telling me now, if I meet a female or a female meet a male and we're working on going to the future and we moving together, that's different. But your age, that's just like telling someone they have to be married by 35. That's why they got to be married by 40. Because I'm going to tell you now, being married at 35 and being single at 35 is different. Being married at 40 and being single at 40 is different. But you still can do both of them and be happy and be successful and not be judged. It's what I'm saying. So I don't think it should be a cap on how old you are. If your goal is this is my goal, and I'm so happy to be 35. Say I started at 21. I had to move back in the house at 25. Now I'm setting a goal, set me back. So that's 4 or 5 years I already lost because I didn't do it that way. So now I'm gonna run into my 35. So my goal shouldn't be hurry up and get out of the house because I'm turning 30 years old. It's what I'm saying.
So.
Thank you. That's all. Amen. Praise the Lord. God is good.
No,
right? Tell me if I'm crazy with what I'm saying.
I think y'all beating around the bush or whatever y'all was trying to say. Because I'm thinking what both of y'all are saying is, whatever the goal is, get the goal, do what you have to do. But at the same time, we should put a limit on something. Every goal should have what we call SMART, right? It should make sense. It should have a timeline, and it has to something to whatever it is. I forgot.
Specific, measurable, attainable.
There you go. Specific, measurable, attainable, in time restraint. Right? It has to be that. So if I have a goal that I'm trying to reach $20,000. I should put some time frame on that. You understand what I'm saying? So there should be a time frame on everything that you do, and if not, then you move on to do something else. Yes. But when it comes to being inside people's houses, there's a lot of different. Because when we were living with mom in a house or whatever, we didn't know all that other nuances about paying the mortgage, insurance, the this and all this other stuff costs. Because they protected us from that. Because they said, hey, when we stayed there, we was like, oh, here's a little bit of money. They put it towards whatever. When you and I first got our apartment, it was a shock. There were some days that the light went off, not because we didn't have the money. We didn't. Oh, my bad. We have to go to this place to go make the payment. We have to go do this to make a payment. So those things we had to learn because we had to be independent. So going back to what I'm saying, we as parents are not training our kids to be independent on their own. So if I pay a mortgage, right? Hey, this is what the mortgage is. This is what I do. Whatever. I try to tell that to my son. Like, hey, this is how much everything costs. Blah 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 blah. You know what he mean? Oh man, I didn't know. Right?
I'm talking
about Kenny. But what I'm saying is that's our responsibility, because I can't tell you to get out my house if I haven't prepared you to get out the house mentally and all the other stuff that you need. Because what's going to happen if I push you out and you're not ready? You're going to come back to the house. So if I had to say anything, that's what I'm saying is for us as parents. And we got to start making our kids accountable. So if you stand with me, I'm going to give you a bill to pay. If you stand with me, I'm giving you chores to do. And if you can't do these things, I'm going to ask you to leave, because these are the conditions that you're supposed to be doing inside the house, and I'm preparing you for it. Because if you can't do this now while I'm taking care of everything, think of what's going to happen when you go on your own, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, both of y'all have points, make sense, right? Because both y'all said that they have goals. One is saying, hey, if we didn't reach that goal, let's move on to something else. But you still have a goal and try to attain it. And then if you don't attain it at that particular time, let's move on to something else.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. To everything. I personally don't think that you should be living at home when you're 35, 36, 37. You have no independence at all. You're a different person. You get what I mean? Like you're a different person when you live by yourself. Like there's things I learned about myself when I went off to school and living with myself. You know what I mean? Like I never washed clothes, and I learned I like to wash clothes, and I'm good at it, and I can fold.
You know what? You came late because we washed clothes since we were 5-6 years old.
Yeah, but
we went to the wash house.
Walk to the wash house, fold, and all this other stuff.
And be mad.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm not knocking. When I keep saying we're preparing, mommy did that, right? She taught us I learned how to cook. I learned how to wash my clothes, iron my clothes. I did all this stuff on my own. So now when they was like, oh, when you get married, I'm like, when I get married or whatever, a woman don't have to do that for me because I'm not gonna depend on her.
But I kind of like if she does.
What I'm saying is she don't have to do it for me because I've been taught how to do these things. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what I keep getting back to. We, as the village, as the older generation, like whatever I instill on you because we're so far from age, 8 years apart. I always feel so you don't have to go through the same problems and prepare you for that. The same thing I did with box. Even though we're close in age, it's like, hey, I'm doing this and that. And that's what I'm saying. We need to learn how to prepare our students for what's the next life is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's my thing. And for as far as students, man, have a plan. I'm not saying enjoy your life, but have a plan and know that, I mean, and teach yourself some independence. You know what I'm saying? Like everything shouldn't be, oh, I got to go ask mommy, or I got to ask daddy, or I got to go ask whoever the case may be. Like, you got to teach yourself some independence. Understand where you are in life and have a goal and reach to it. Staying at home makes you complacent, keeps you safe, gives you a security blanket. I think you should take advantage of being home, stack as much as you can, and go get your goals. Don't just sit there. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna answer this. I do think having a plan is very important. I do think that the support of your family and your parents is going to be very important to your success. So although you might not listen, but just kind of be mindful of the information that they're giving you. And then my last point is the age only matters depending on the work you're putting in. I know he read this smart time focus, whatever SMART goal is. What I say is, because if you have a setback at 25 or 27, don't feel like now I lost my independence, because you understand that. What I'm saying is achieve that goal. Don't let nobody tell you an age, put anything on your life, because if you look at a lot of famous, successful people, they didn't get that success until they was 45. Look at some actors, some rappers. Rick Ross was probably damn near 40 when he blew up, right?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, Rick Ross like 35, bro. He was a rapper for a while, I'm telling you. Rick Ross is in 40-something years.
I mean, he blew up in 2006.
Yeah, but he was 30-something in 2006. Is what I'm saying. So don't let nobody tell you how to run your race. Work on your goals, and then enjoy your success as you go. So I hope we was able to help some graduates, some parents, and what they doing, because we did, but I hope you did get some information from this. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff with supporting us, and thank for everyone that continue to listen and watch. It's your boy Dean.
Tim.
Taran.
And you listen to the Dean's Office, yo.